Alright, good morning everybody. It's a hat day today. I'm wearing a hat. So this is the story. I was going to exchange this Galaxy S24 Ultra for the Plus because I do like the Plus size a lot better. I like that form factor a lot better. I don't like the corners on this one. But I didn't realize that on top of the exchange, like the return repackaging fee or whatever, I also have to pay tax again. I thought they could just like exchange it, like they were gonna refund me and then they would just take the new tax out of the refund. And that's not the case. So instead of being like 30 bucks, it was gonna be like 100 bucks. And I am obviously just got a new job, so I cannot afford that right now. So hopefully I can before the 15 days is up, but we're gonna do an entire vlog on the Galaxy S24 Ultra. I did a vlog like a week or two ago that was mostly Galaxy S24 Ultra, but it was still 4K 30. This is 4K 60, top of the line, besides 8K, because that won't show up at all on YouTube. It doesn't really make any difference, but I can leave a comment if you'd like to see that, a whole vlog in 8K. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. I don't usually shoot in 4K 60 because Pixel requires 30 frames per second to use the speech enhancement, which I value way more than a higher refresh rate. 60 frames actually kind of bothers me because it's so hyper smooth, it looks cheap to me. Kind of like when you watch a movie versus like a soap opera. I don't know, maybe that's just the film school in me coming out. I don't prefer it, I prefer 30. I actually prefer 24, but I know that's unacceptable on the internet. So if I'm making anything professional, immediately goes to 24 frames per second, but if I'm just doing something like this, it's usually 30. We're gonna edit on the Galaxy, we're gonna shoot on the Galaxy, everything's gonna be done on the Galaxy. I'm gonna be carrying it today instead of an iPhone. There's the first test. That was a really quick switch with my fancy leather case that I talked about in my other vlog. That is something really cool that I don't think Pixel or iPhone can do, is switch between cameras when you're recording, which is really sad because that's such a needed feature in today's world. Like you gotta like turn the whole camera around, and it's not a huge deal, but like it's a really cool quality of life kind of thing. Maybe it's been like that forever for Samsung. Again, I am not a Samsung user. I'm familiar with One UI since I work with it, but I don't prefer it, so I don't use it myself. So this is gonna be a more intimate look at the Galaxy, and it's going to be part of the review for it as well. This is going to be part of my testing, so I just figured I'd vlog it. So if I'm being totally honest, I don't think I'm going to stay at this US Cellular job very long. The whole thing is run like an office, like a library or like a school administration building or something. It's like the most boring thing I've ever done. And like, it's not even like I mean, we barely even sell any phones because the process is so long. It takes like, if I was like, it took me 2.5 hours to do an upgrade yesterday, to get all the numbers right, to look at everything, to get everything in order, to make the system work right, to do whatever. And obviously this was my first upgrade ever, so it's not going to take that long forever, but I'm assuming that once I like know what to do and I know where to go, it's going to take like 30 minutes just for the upgrade part. So that's after we've decided what phone they want, after the discussion on how much they want to spend and all that stuff, and then the content transfer after that. So that's very, very long. For reference, the upgrade process at AT&T was the shortest part by a long shot. The content transfer, which takes usually between 30 minutes and an hour. Sometimes I'd have people come in and be like, I need a new phone, but I don't really have time to do the content transfer. That's fine. How long is it gonna take? I just need to buy it and get out of here. And I was like, oh, like 10 minutes. I mean, give me time to open the safe, so probably 15. But 15 minutes, you're good. From the time they walk in to the time they are leaving with a new phone in the box, 15 minutes max. So that's what I'm used to. This place is, I don't like, the system seems good. It doesn't glitch out, it doesn't crash, it doesn't die like AT&T's does. AT&T's system was like I always pictured like a covered wagon, like trying to cross like kind of mushy ground on like with a covered wagon, but like 3 out of the 4 wheels are just broken. So like one of them doesn't have the rim anymore. One of them doesn't have the rim, and half of the spokes are broken in half and like dragging through the mud. And like it's like just like it's so much more effort and work just to pull the thing instead of just stopping for a second to fix what's broken. They just keep saying, no, we can't stop, go, keep going, don't stop, and they just never fix the system because it breaks so often. I would just plan on having to sign in twice, like type in my username, type in my password, crash, type in my username, type in my password, 6 like flash loading like location screens, and then it takes like 10 seconds for the actual thing to come up, and then none of the buttons are working yet. Like, it was a disaster. So I don't know how to feel about that, but this job is definitely, it's not even that necessarily that I'm like concerned about. It's more that the other people here, the energy that US Cellular as a whole brings is very much like school administration DMV vibes, which I cannot stand. Like I'm a very out there, I guess, person. I speak loudly when I speak. I want to be confident. I want people to trust in me, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So that's just how I am. This is how I am with customers. I try to bring some excitement. I try to bring some whatever. And like most of the other people there talk like this, like, this is your contract. You'll have 36 months to pay this off. Unfortunately, I can't do this for you, but I can do. It's like, and they have like the little sing-songy thing that like office admins have, and then they like type as quietly as possible on the keyboard and don't want to take up any space. Like, just the attitude behind how the store, and I'm sure it's US Cellular as a whole, because typically that's how it is. Every company has their own kind of culture. How they operate is very like, I'm terrified of the rules. I follow every single rule to the T. It's so therefore, which, I mean, again, sounds like a good thing, but following the rules to a T in a cell phone job doesn't always make sense, because there are so many intricacies that you have to bend around them sometimes. There are like 3 or 4 major colleges in the area, like Liberty University is in the area. That's like 17,000 students or something crazy. There's like 3 or 4 others. There are a lot of like college students who don't know how the world works. They don't know they have to have an ID. They don't know how that they have to be an authorized user. They don't know what the PIN number is. They don't know like anything, but they need a new phone, and they're like, mommy and daddy just sent them in and was like, they'll take care of ya. None of them know how it works. This is an AT&T example. I haven't seen that quite as often with US Cellular yet, but I can get into the account. I can give like a bill amount. I can like talk to you about pricing, since I can see how much it would cost. I don't have to tell them, but I can tell them how much the phone would cost if they have a trade-in, if they're eligible for upgrade, all that stuff. So it's just more efficient. That's what I mean. They don't do any of that here. It's all strict letter of the law to the T. Like if you're scheduled till 6:42 exactly, you do not touch that thing until 6:42 exactly. If you need to call customer service, you need to call from a desktop phone on the desk, because how dare you call from a cell phone for who knows what no reason. So that's, I like to play a little bit more off the cuff. I don't want to turn into a boomer, an office boomer. I've already seen it kind of start happening in like my speech, and like, well, I can't do that for you. I can't, whatever. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. So I'm not going to stay here for very long. Hopefully I can get a T-Mobile job or something in the meantime before shearing starts. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking about today. All right, so it is 10:15. We just opened, but something happened and I wanted to talk about it. So a customer just came in to get the S24 Ultra. Cool. She has the S21 Ultra in silver or blue or whatever it was. It's actually pretty cool. I don't see that one too often. We looked up the trade-in value and it was $100. And she said, that's not bad. So S21 Ultra for $100 is really, really low. But she's gonna take it. She's gonna trade it in for probably like 2/3 of her accessories, because they cost like $130. Crazy. But then the other rep said, just go into your phone and make sure it's all backed up, because I'll have to wipe it and then I'll have to restore it. And she was like, oh, well, is that through OneDrive? So on Galaxy, unfortunately, it's through OneDrive. Don't ever use OneDrive. Use your Google services, people. But I was like, well, no, like Smart Switch will bring it all over through Bluetooth. And she's like, oh, see, I didn't even know that. I use iPhone. I don't know. Like that bothers me so much, because like I have tried the same thing just to see what would happen with like, yeah, I don't really use iPhone, I don't know how to fix that. And the person's always like, well, how dare you? What do you mean you don't know how to fix it? Or are you not a phone salesman? But if you say it the other way around, people are like, I get it. It makes no sense, and it's very annoying. I hate it. So I thought this was marginally interesting. This is the Pixel 5a, obviously. It just got an update. I saw an article from The Verge. I'll see if I can find the link for the description. It said, Pixel gets an update, but only for one phone, and it was for the 5a, which, again, textured power button, I missed that. But everyone was like, oh, I wonder why. It's because I didn't get to talk about it. It's not even turned on right now, but I didn't even get to talk about it. But the last beta update, which this still gets, was a disaster. And the phone was like 4 or 5 seconds lagging on everything. Like I would turn the phone on and I like couldn't even, like not even unlock the phone. The phone was unlocked already, and I would go to swipe for apps like 7, 8 times, and I would just sit there and I would lock it and it would sit there with a lit up screen for another 15 seconds and then do everything all at once. Like it was really, really bad. And so far it seems like that the new update has fixed it. So that's really cool. That's why they only had one update for one phone.
At this time, no. Like
I mean,
yeah.
at the time you want to make a payment, you want to get a new phone, you pay for that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead before I call that, for the open account for that. That way we can do it on one shot.
Just going through everything.
Perfect.
Right, so I took a very early lunch. It's not even 1 yet, but I was really hungry, and I'm so bored. I'm still training, so I can't do everything, but at the same time, I'm just dying. I just need to get out. So I'm here eating Taco Bell, like I shouldn't be. But again, I made shrimp and fettuccine last night. It was really good, but then I also forgot to make my turkey, so I, again, am not eating my healthy meal. But I decided to take a couple pictures just right here, because it's pretty good lighting. It's a nice bright day. It's actually really nice right now. It is 57, and I want to take my jacket off. Actually, I'm going to after this because it feels really nice outside. I can't wait to be outside all the time with shearing and just be outside and do real life stuff. It's not just sitting around. But I took some example photos with the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the Pixel 8 Pro. They are at the wide angle. The Galaxy is in 0.6, Pixel is a 0.5, that's the only difference. So wide angle, 1x, 3x, and then selfies. Let me know which one you prefer, if you can tell that there's a difference. Reference, this is what the Pixel camera looks like. I know it's 30 frames per second, so it's gonna look a little more choppier. And sounds like. So, just for comparison. All right, good evening. I kind of ran out a lot of steam today. It's not the best afternoon. No real reason. Just kind of, blah for the day. Very ready to be done with all this retail nonsense, and I can either start my own shop where I can do this right, or I can do cell phones right, and or just taking a year off to just mentally, just catch up. Because after shearing, that's going to make my year's money. I won't need to work after that. I will want to, because then I could double what I make if I work for the year and if I go shearing. So it's wise to do that. But what I really, really want to do is start my own business. I have the whole business model planned. I've got everything. I even have an LLC for it. Like, I've got everything ready. I just don't have money to start it or time right now. And I will have both of those things after shearing. So I think that's the smartest thing to do. So I can't wait for that. I'm done with a lot of the just BS of retail jobs, like just snarky ass people and customers who are never happy, and just coworker nonsense and system nonsense. I mean, there's like 5 different ways to take a bill payment here. It's so just overkill. So just kind of feeling discouraged, but I'm gonna go make myself some spaghetti tonight for dinner. Also saving some money. All right, we got spaghetti cooking. We got garlic bread and meatballs. They both had a different, I decided to just combine them and like So, and see if it would work. I mean, I'm assuming it's just baking stuff, so I can't imagine it's that hard, but one of them wanted the temperature at like 350, the other one was like 425, but then the 425 one, the garlic bread, was like 8 to 10 minutes, and the meatballs were like 14, or like 17 to 18. So I split the difference and did 375, and then put it all in for like 15 minutes. So we'll hopefully that works. Ooh, she boiling. We'll have regular spaghetti soon. Yeah, there we go. Fresh spaghetti from a box. And meatballs and garlic bread. All done at the same time. It worked. I had to keep these in just a couple minutes longer, but it worked. So let's eat. And I'm already 2 shots in, and I have a drink waiting for me, so it'll be a good night. Look at that. Just the right amount of oil, too. Oil can't be understated in a dish like this. Ugh, tomatoes, gross. Because it does add to the flavor, but it also adds to the consistency a little bit, which is something new that I've learned. So, yeah, we did just the right amount of olive oil, and it looks good. And obviously, you can't forget the cheese. This is a little bit cheap. Like, this cheese feels kind of rubbery to me. I would have liked to get the actual name brand. I forget which brand I usually get. I think it's Kraft. But yeah, I can't forget the cheese in this. That's honestly one of the most important parts. And then next, the garlic bread. And with that, we have a perfect meal. Not too bad, right? And I don't probably, I mean, a pack of spaghetti is like $1.30. Cheese, the garlic bread on its own was like $5. So this has to have cost like $6, $8 to make, which I gotta say looks pretty good. If I went to an Italian restaurant or Olive Garden or something, this would have been like 20 bucks. So as long as you're willing to invest the time, it's worth it. Honestly, almost every time I've made spaghetti, it's been the best meal I've ever had. So if you don't like spaghetti, what are you doing with your life?